Hello, this is Musings with Mookie. Um, this podcast, this cast itself, this would be my third time recording, so hopefully it's the last. We're talking about this note I wrote about 25 years ago, and it's called Thinking, where I asked this question: when is the age we stop living? Stop living life. This, and I go on to say that this unconscious state of living drives me cray. So it is noted that I was probably the first one that used cray, if it wasn't on Clueless. But yes. And I go on to say that people stop living mentally, not physically, or being brain dead medically. I was 17 at the time I was writing this. Trying to maintain a conscious state of mind drives me crazy. The reason people only use 10% of their brain is because they get tired of thinking. Thinking requires some level of standstill, some level of patience. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm part of this world. I try to force people to think by not thinking all the way through myself. And this just means like you don't want people to be dependent upon your thought sequence, and that's all I was trying to relay. I'm trying to be a humanitarian. Once again, I'm 17. I'm using words that I learned in high school. I hurt myself by losing my brain power because I want other people to think. In that, I'm saying because I delay my thoughts, my words, because I want other people to express their thoughts, their words, I feel like I dumb myself down. I thought these I want I thought these same thoughts when I was younger and decided not to spill. I'm basically saying I have been thinking of people being intellectually inferior for a long time. And people in general, this has no cultural background. People say thinking is too hard. This is true. How about not thinking is harder? Even truer. It says life is hard, but life is harder when you're stupid. If you forgot how to tie, buckle, or strap your shoes, you would be a Pandora box ready to blow open. You would be ready to take it out on other people. That's all I typed there. I'm not sure if I typed, if I wrote anymore because I didn't take the whole picture of the paper. I just did like a corner to show like, hey, this was written this time, and that's all I did. But when is the age that people stop thinking? Do you remember the periods of when you were in this stage of just doing that you weren't thinking about what was coming next? I would say I have. I've gone through several periods of my life, whether it was due to stress or due to thinking I was finally stable so I can just calm down, so I can relax, so I won't be so anxious. Yeah, I think, I believe like if we're not always in a conscious state of thinking and we let our stressors to tell us that it's time to rest instead of telling ourselves it's time to rest, then no, then yeah, I think we've had several periods or constant periods of where we weren't awake. We weren't awake in the moment. We believed the status quo because it was easier. Because so many years prior, we were just in a state of anxiety and confusion. Um, that why, if I have this great job and I have a place to stay and my kids are eating, why am I thinking about other world events? Why do I need to think about that now? I've had such a troubling. We 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 voluntarily put ourselves in a state of not thinking. And I don't use woke as in saying and talking about social issues. I say woke as in literally our brain is in a sleep mode. We put our brains in a sleep mode, not for just 4 hours, but we continuously do it. We don't correct our children. We don't um, put opportunities in place for our children because either we're tired, um, we figure like I did it on my own. You should be able to do it all on your own. You had to sit back and then ask yourself, were your kids raised as you were? Did you raise your kids as you were raised when you were younger? Did you nurture something in them that they later would have to correct? And of course, some of us or all of us do. It's like we're never getting out of parenting without screwing up our kids in some way or the other, even though we don't try. Well, that's not our intention for the most of us. It is not our intention. And we have to be aware of what we put out there that would cause our children to even go into a sleep mode where they feel they can't express themselves. I'm going through that right now, albeit with my second son, and I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible to not have him shut down in communication, to to not shut down in communication myself because, you know, I have kids and I must see it all the way through. What can we do to stay in a constant state of thinking? Not obsessive thinking, but if we have those 6 hours at work, those 6 to 8 hours at work during the day, and we do those 6 to 8 hours of work, can we remember to go home and do some deep breathing exercises for a minute to come back to center? Can we be more expressive when we're coming in the house to saying, I've had a long day? I just want to let you all know that instead of having an angry look on our face because we're so used to going into that unconscious state of mind and resting there without talking, can we communicate to our loved ones that I'm really going through a lot of things at once? Can you help me by doing A, B, or C? And then come back to it and follow up and be like, how do I feel about following up, making sure everyone's okay and understand that I am okay again, that that moment is past? Do we change? Do we heal something with our kids or loved ones when we are expressive in that way? I want to be expressive in that way. I'm going to try it tomorrow. If I'm having a cold and hard day, I want to come in the house and I want to say, hey guys, how's your day? And then when they say good, I say, I'm glad. Mine went like this. I think I'll start doing that tomorrow. I'll go in, I'll think about something other than them going to school and how was their school day. And I will be more communicative in my house because I do crave peace. And I think everyone should have their own special peace. But I think there is also something missing. I think there's something also missing in how we and some people do go into this unconscious state of living because it'll be easier to deal with everything. And it's not. I almost considered that with my second oldest son. I almost did. But now I had to go back and correct and be like, no, we have to be here with each other, and we're going to learn to take care of each other without being cruel, without being mean to each other. We're going to do that. We're going to do that for each other. So think about the times in your life where you went into your subconscious state of being and you went with whatever the flow was. You didn't think how it could be better. You didn't think how it could be worse. You just went because you felt like it was the most stable time in your life and you didn't want to mess up the flow. What happens when we listen to our intuition and we take stock of what is going around us and saying, this is wrong. This has to be fixed. This can't stay the way that it is. We must share this burden with each other so that we know that we do love and take care of each other. Well, thank you for listening. My name is Mookie Tajor, and this is another episode of Musings with Mookie. Hopefully this one sticks, and I don't have to record this episode for the fourth time. So thank you all. I look forward to the next video I have, and I will talk to you later. Bye.